Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for appearing before the committee today. I want to ask you a kind of a threshold question that will be the basis of my other questions. But I know the focus has been on China this morning, but I also believe that both China and Russia pose a adversarial threat to our country and to our allies. Would you agree?
Well, Russia poses national security risks. That is true.
Okay. And just for your, you may know this, but I'm one of those members that really disagreed with the president on the handling of the issue of Nvidia and the selling of its powerful H-200 chips to China. I think that is in an area where a direction we don't want to go. But let me focus on, with regards to BIS's budget, the efforts with Russia. You know, since they launched their illegal invasion in Ukraine in 2022, the United States and G7 countries began using various tools of statecraft to restrict Russia's finance and military capacity with various degrees of success, one would argue. A key one, I think, being export controls have been very difficult. As you know, these tools are central to exerting maximum pressure on Putin in order to bring an end to this war, as we all want to see happen, and certainly the president has tried. But at the negotiating table, it seems that in the first 3 years following Russia's invasion, U.S. has imposed a range of new sanctions, export controls over Russia, with the Biden administration over 700 Russian entities to the entity list. But under the Trump administration, the U.S. export controls on Russia seem to have fallen off a cliff. In 2025, it seems the U.S. did not have any Russian entities to the entity list, but it even more importantly, I think, comes to enforcement, obviously, both with us and with the G7 countries. In Senator Graham's memory, in reference to the sanction bill that he was his bill and the proponent, how do you explain this drop-off in the U.S. export controls on Russia? And why does it seem, in my view, that the administration's taken the foot off the gas when it comes to exerting pressure? The president likes to leverage and takes great pride in that. We've got great leverage opportunities here. Why?
Well, I don't see the same drop-off that you do, sir. You know, we continue to maintain the export controls that apply to Russia, and we continue to enforce them. And I think the most important step that we can take is to strengthen enforcement across the board.
Well, I agree, and you answered, I guess, while I was out in another hearing, my colleague's question about adding more experts within BIS in the area of enforcement and as it relates to Russia. Did I hear that correctly? It's that intention to do so?
Well, we want to add experts within BIS across the board.
Well, we need to. I think we need to strengthen our export controls, and how you're going to use this proposed additional funding, I think many of us are concerned with, not only on Russia, but China as well. They pose a threat. I mean, both President Zelensky indicated here within the last month they are retrieving missile that had been sent to Ukraine and crashed, that those components within those Russian missiles had parts, chips, and circuit boards that were manufactured either in the U.S. or in Europe. I mean, that means they're getting around the enforcement, right?
Anytime we hear reports like that, we look into them, and that obviously raises a question about enforcement and adherence to our rules.
Well, effective enforcement is what we want.
Absolutely.
And it seems that the Russians are very cagey and capable. I think from hard experience in the last several years, in circumventing these sanctions.
Well, we're fully committed to cracking down on all enforcement, all circumvention, all diversion that we know of. Well,
it seems to me that it's important that you report to the committee to the degree of additional funds, and I am one of those that thinks you ought to have more resources, frankly, in terms of our efforts to enforce effectively the sanctions both posed toward Russia and China. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
I appreciate that, yes, and
willing to report back to this committee with the jurisdiction on what progress we can mark here before the end of the year?
I'm happy to work with that. I'm happy to work with you on that, absolutely.
All right. The balance of my time is expired. More to be continued. Thank you.